Is Detective Pikachu the best Pokemon movie that no Pokemon movie ever was? I will find out. Welcome to the objective review of Detective Pikachu. And in an objective review, I like to break a movie down into 6 categories and assign weights to them depending on the genre to have the most honest, unbiased, objective review as possible. And my history with Pokemon goes way back to my years in middle school. I used to collect the cards. I remember buying Pokemon Stadium on Nintendo 64 and playing the crap out of that. I'm a huge fan of Super Smash Bros. A lot of Pokemon introduced in that. And I remember being in like 7th grade and seeing Pokemon the movie with Mewtwo. I remember crying in theater. So Pokemon means, a little bit to me. It used to be more back then, not as much now, but still have a soft spot in my heart. But going to be objective as possible. So let's start with the first category of story.
Look, you can talk to humans, I can talk to Pokemon. And if you want to find your pops, we're gonna need each other.
No, I don't need a Pokemon.
What about a world-class detective?
The story follows a young man who's kind of a loner in life. He doesn't have a Pokemon partner like everyone else does. Like, he doesn't love Pokemon that way, even though he did in his past. He comes to find out that his father has been killed in a car accident and there's something suspicious about it. And he finds his father's partner, a Pikachu, a Detective Pikachu, and they go on this longish journey to find out what really happened to his father. And the story feels an awful a lot like Bumblebee last year, where you have a character who's kind of a loner. They have this kind of sad backstory. One of their parents has died in the past. People don't understand them and they connect to this unhuman character. And there's a fairly two-dimensional love interest involved. It's a very, very similar movie. The plot feels a little kiddish. Like, it feels like an episode of Pokemon, where even I feel like Pokemon the movie didn't feel this kiddish. Parts of the story were very, very predictable. There were some twists and turns here that I didn't completely see coming, but it was fairly obvious. All in all, the story was serviceable to say the least, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. That's on to emotion.
So there I was. I woke up with a heavy case of amnesia in the middle of nowhere. The only clue to my past is Harry's name and address inside this hat.
I don't feel like there was that much emotion in this film. There is one specific scene between Pikachu and the main character where he just talks about how his father, would kind of be proud of him, of the man he's become. The only problem with this is I think this moment comes too early on in the film. We didn't get a chance for Pikachu and this young man to really connect, so it didn't hit as hard as I think it could have later on in the film. And they try a couple other times to add a little bit more emotional layers to the film, but I think those also fall flat. I mean, it's okay, it's somewhat serviceable, so I'll give that a 7.5 out of 10. Next is on to action. The action in this movie is few and far between. There is a really great scene, I think, in a Pokemon gym battle, which just makes me excited for future movies that we can actually maybe one day see Pokemon fight. In the scene, the main character is telling Pikachu what to do, just like a Pokemon trainer, even though he's not one. It really shows just how skilled he is and how knowledgeable he is at being a Pokemon trainer. But this scene is really short. So for action, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Next is on to comedy.
Get him! He's barely moving.
Don't tell him that. Oh, he's on a bike. Quick, get in front of him.
Stop.
Oh, no. He's going down hard, Tim. Should have worn a helmet.
The comedy of this movie was fairly good. And Ryan Reynolds, of course, he delivers the laughs, fairly consistent. I think it's mostly adult laughs. Like, I was laughing and chilling on kind of all throughout. I think, they did a really good job. I laughed out loud one time because it's just a really kind of cool, sad, granted nostalgic moment. Me and my daughter were like the only ones completely cracking up in a theater because we watched Pokemon together and we enjoy it together often. So maybe I'm a little impartial there. But the comedy was, I think, really good with Ryan Reynolds and also with Justice Smith. I think both of them have a really good teamwork dynamic together. But for comedy, it gets a 7.5 out of 10. Next is on to acting.
I could stop whenever I want. These are just choices. Another round, extra shot, black as night. Thank you, sweetie.
Justice Smith does a fine job. I think he does a good job emoting with a Pokemon that's not really there. Ryan Reynolds' voice work here is really good. He really, I think, disappears into the role. Like, I think with Deadpool, like, you're clearly hearing Ryan Reynolds, but I think here, even though it sounds like Ryan Reynolds, I think he still can kind of just drop into being Pikachu really well. But I don't think there is kind of amazing acting going on here, or really just great, so I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Next is on to directing.
That's a twist. That's very twisty.
I think the best this movie did overall was just world building. You really are dropped into this world where Pokemon exist and humans coexist with them and how they're part of everyday life. They did a really amazing job doing that. And they did a good job of really bringing these Pokemon to life. I mean, some of them look a little bit cartoonish, but I feel like Pokemon kind of would look cartoonish. And that CGI on Pikachu, just seeing all the fur around him, it looks, I mean, it's a Pikachu come to life. It could not look any better than that. And I absolutely love seeing Charizard too. As for the pace of film, it was really slow, I think the first 10 minutes or so, but then it started to, really move along. As for cinematography, there wasn't really anything special there. There weren't any just grand shots. As for the score, I mean, besides little hints here of the Pokemon theme, I didn't think it was all that appealing. But without a doubt, the world building, I think, was done really well. Directing gets an 8 out of 10. So that brings our weighted average score to a 7.4 out of 10. And it's a fine movie. It's a very enjoyable experience at the movie theater. As a Pokemon fan, I am really more excited about the potential of this film than the film itself. I just really want a movie about a young boy who wants to be the very best that no one ever was, and to catch them is his real quest, and to train them is his call, and he'll travel across the land searching far and wide for Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Like, I want that movie. Anyway, let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Sincerely, thank you for watching. I'm out.